I've been in this healthcare industry, serving after the industry for the past 34, 35 years, and I've seen a drastic evolution of a technology development that can be adapted to the medical or pharmaceutical innovations. But unfortunately, despite of the massive development, impressive development in technology advancement, the time to develop a meaningful compound to the market, whether it's a biopharma or medical devices, it seems that the time has not been shortened much. It is actually becoming more complicated. It takes longer resources and time and everything else. Why is that? Is there any way we can actually work together closer to take the full advantage of technology advancement so that we can shorten the timeline?
Of course, and I think it's natural because in healthcare, it's not like buying a pair of jeans or choosing an app for your phone. You're dealing with people's livelihood, their quality of life, their well-being. And so naturally, doctors, regulators, hospitals, payers, they're all very conservative. But I think healthcare doesn't keep pace with technology's growth, and that's just a natural lag that we see in healthcare compared to other spaces like finance or entertainment or telecommunications. And so what I think is really helpful, that I think VentureBlick does really well, is getting early clinician involvement with the startups. And there's a lot of benefits to involving clinicians early. Getting early buy-in means that you can refine your product early, that you can pivot and make changes early on before you've invested significant time and money into creating something that may not work or may not get paid. And I would actually think that early clinician involvement through platforms like VentureBlick is invaluable, and it's not something that you can put necessarily a price tag or assign a value to.
Yeah, actually, in developing a meaningful medical innovation, VentureBlick believed that the medical validation at an early stage is probably one of the most crucial things before they can spend any more time to develop anything further. But in doing that, we have to balance the view between the clinicians and the innovators and everybody else in between, because it does take more than a village to develop something that is medically innovative that can be used to address unmet medical need. But in doing that, when we talk to clinicians or vice versa, innovators as well, we come across in many occasions certain clinicians think that only their opinion matters. Same thing with the innovators as well. Only their opinion matters because we are the one who develop it, so you use it. Or clinician says, I don't like it, that means it doesn't work. So how do you address that? Because we need to balance both to make sure that we get a balanced view so that we can actually help them out to bring the product that is really needed.
So I think for many startups, conducting a thorough stakeholder analysis and looking at the cycle of care is very important because it'll help you identify who's an influencer and who's a decision maker in the medical space. Take, for example, Customize, one of the companies supported by VentureBlick. They're creating an innovative 4D cast for fractures, and they approached me for a clinical trial and for product development support. In this case, when they wanted to put their product into our clinic for use, although an orthopedic surgeon like me is the one who's prescribing the cast, at the end of the day, it's the nurses and the plaster technicians who are actually applying the cast. And their feedback on how well the device works, whether it's easy, whether it's cost effective, whether they like it or not, is probably a lot more valuable than whatever input I can give them. And I think that's one of the key insights that they got from collaborating with us.
Right, so that's quite interesting. I really hope that the company like Customize can be one of the very first innovation out of Singapore, because eventually we work with the various government, including the Singapore government, and I personally believe that the Singapore has the basic necessary ingredients all here.